We were all having dinner at his big house in Westchester County, New York. The dining room looked out over a huge yard, more land than I could even imagine owning. Around the table were my family members, most of them people I only saw at holidays. My mom sat next to me. Beside her was her new husband, Travis. She married him only 4 months after divorcing my dad. Travis was a personal trainer, and he always acted like he knew everything. Across from me, my little sister Riley looked bored. My aunt, uncle, and a few cousins were there too. Then Grandpa tapped his wine glass with a fork. Everyone stopped talking. "I have a special gift for Ethan," he said. All eyes turned to me. Grandpa stood at the head of the table holding a navy blue folder. He was 78, calm and confident, the kind of man people listen to without question. "Come here, son," he said. My legs felt shaky as I stood and walked over. He handed me the folder. Inside were legal papers, official stamps, long paragraphs, serious-looking signatures. I didn't understand at first, but then I saw one line that made my heart jump. Transfer of controlling interest, to Ethan James Coleman. My hands started trembling. "Grandpa, is this real?" I asked. He squeezed my shoulder. "Yes. Effective immediately. You are now the majority owner and CEO of Coleman Manufacturing." The room exploded with noise. My aunt gasped. Cousins started whispering. Riley's mouth fell open. I just stared at the pages like they might change if I blinked. Coleman Manufacturing was Grandpa's life's work. He built it from nothing back in 1976. It wasn't some small shop either, it had huge contracts and made hundreds of millions a year. People said it was worth around $250 million. And he just gave it to me. "I don't understand," I said. "Why me?" "Because you're responsible," Grandpa said. "You work hard. You listen. You care about people, not just money. This company is safer with you than anyone else at this table." Before I could even process that, my mom jumped up like she'd been waiting for this moment. Her face changed fast, shock, then calculation, then a bright smile that didn't feel real. "Well," she said loudly, "this actually makes things easier. Travis and I have been discussing the future of the company. Travis will take over operations starting Monday." The room went silent again. A heavy silence. I stared at her. "What?" Mom spoke like she was already in charge. "You're 20, Ethan. You don't know how to run a manufacturing company. Travis has an MBA. He understands leadership." Travis nodded and put a hand on her shoulder like he owned the place. "Buddy," he said, "this is complicated. Big contracts, unions, supply chains. You're not ready." "It's Ethan," I said, correcting him automatically. "And I'm the owner now. I'm not handing it over." Mom's smile disappeared instantly. Her voice turned cold. "If you're going to disrespect your stepfather, pack your bags and leave tonight." I froze. "What?" "You heard me," she snapped. "If you can't accept guidance from the man I love, you're not welcome in our home." Our home. The house Grandpa bought for her after the divorce, the one she'd been living in for months. Travis crossed his arms and smirked. "Welcome to the real world, kid." My face burned. "You're kicking me out on my birthday?" "I'm setting boundaries," Mom said. "You're an adult. Act like one." I looked at Grandpa, hoping he'd step in. He leaned back in his chair, calm, almost like he expected this. Then he said quietly, "Helen, I think Ethan should share the rest of his birthday gift." Mom's eyebrows pulled together. "The rest?" Grandpa nodded at the folder. "Tell them what else I signed yesterday." I looked down and noticed a second envelope tucked inside. My heart pounded as I opened it. More legal papers. A property document. And one sentence hit me like a wave. Transfer of ownership. I read it again to be sure. It wasn't about the company. It was about the house. Grandpa's house. The one we were sitting in right now. The 10-acre property. Transferred to me. Dated yesterday. Filed with the county this morning. I lifted my head slowly. The house, I said, my voice sounding strange even to me. Grandpa transferred the house to me too. Mom's face went completely pale. What? She whispered. Grandpa stood up. His voice was firm and cold now, no warmth at all. I signed the deed yesterday morning, he said. It's filed. It's legal. It's final. Ethan owns the company and this property. Then he looked right at me. You decide who stays. The silence in the room felt unreal. Mom's mouth opened and closed, like she couldn't find words. Travis stepped forward, furious. This is insane, he barked. Helen, tell him. Tell your father he can't do this. I looked at Mom. Didn't you just tell me to leave my own house? Her face twisted. You can't do this to me. I'm your mother. I raised you. You just ordered me to pack my bags, I said quietly. She tried to backtrack. I didn't mean, I was trying to teach you. To teach me responsibility by taking my company and kicking me out? I said. It's not your company. And it's not Travis's either. Travis snapped. Enough. Helen and I have a plan. Real expansion. Real growth. We've been working on it for weeks. That plan ends here, Grandpa cut in. His voice was ice. I know about your bankruptcy in 2019, Travis, Grandpa said. The failed supplement business. The lawsuits. The unpaid loans. Travis went pale. He actually took a step back. You investigated me? I protect what I built, Grandpa said. And I knew what you were trying to do the moment Helen introduced you. Mom shook her head fast. Those were misunderstandings. He's changed. She turned to me, and for a second her voice sounded almost desperate. Why are you doing this? You never cared about the business before. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. I hadn't always been serious. I wasted time. I messed around. Only recently did I start trying because Grandpa pushed me to. But watching my mom try to hand everything to a man she barely knew, something in me snapped into focus. I care now, I said. Mom's face crumpled. I sacrificed everything for you and Riley. Your father left me with nothing. Now you're going to humiliate me? Make me homeless? You're not homeless, Grandpa said calmly. You have options. You just don't have my company or my house. Mom spun toward him. You did this. You turned my own son against me. Grandpa didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. I gave him tools, he said. He's choosing how to use them. Everyone was watching like it was a reality show. My aunt looked horrified. My cousins whispered. Riley was recording on her phone. Travis stared at Mom, waiting for her to fight harder, to defend him. But she didn't. Not this time. Mom stood there shaking. Travis's smile slipped, and his face turned cold. Fine, he snapped. Keep your family drama. He grabbed his jacket and walked out. Travis, wait. Mom cried. He didn't stop. Fix it yourself, Helen. The door slammed. Mom turned on me, tears falling. You ruined my marriage. No, I said. You ruined it when you chose him over me. She whispered, I need to pack. I told her she could stay the night, but she shook her head and went upstairs. The dinner ended fast. Family left. Riley hugged me and said, that was crazy. Grandpa calmly poured himself a drink. That went exactly how I thought. I stared. You planned this? He smiled. I gave you the power. You decided what to do. Mom came back with a suitcase. Hope you're proud, she said. I'm not proud, I answered. But I'm not letting anyone use us. She got angry and slapped me. My cheek burned. Grandpa stood up, but I stopped him. Mom cried harder. Your dad left me. I felt thrown away. And you tried to throw me away, I said. She wiped her face. I'm going to Aunt Karen's. Don't call me. Then she left. Grandpa lifted his glass. Welcome to being the owner, Ethan. That night I sat in silence, shaking. I finally asked, why give me everything now? Because I'm 78, Grandpa said. I wanted you protected while I'm still here. What about Riley? She gets a trust fund and a board seat if she wants, he said. But the company needs one leader. That's you. I don't know how to run it, I admitted. You'll learn, Grandpa said. You've got strong people around you. The next morning, I woke up in a house that was legally mine. Riley came down and said Mom called. She wants me to go with her. Are you going? I asked. I don't know, she said quietly. Then she looked at me. Can I stay here? Yes, I told her. As long as you want. Grandpa walked in, dressed and ready. We have a meeting at 10, he said. Time to meet your team. My stomach dropped when Grandpa said, no time to wait. You're the CEO now. People need to see you. So we went to the company that same morning. Coleman Manufacturing Industries had its main offices in a mid-rise building in Stamford, Connecticut, about 40 minutes from Grandpa's home in Westchester. The real factory, where the machines ran and the parts were made, was in Bridgeport, but the corporate office was in Stamford. Grandpa and I arrived at 9:52 a.m. The lobby looked like money. On the wall was the Coleman logo, a gear and a compass made of brushed steel. It felt official, like it belonged in a museum. The receptionist's eyes went wide when she saw Grandpa. Mr. Coleman, we didn't expect you today. Grandpa didn't slow down. Change of plans, Sandra. Is the conference room ready? Yes, sir. Mr. Rutherford is already waiting. We rode the elevator to the 4th floor, the executive level. This used to be Grandpa's space. Now it was mine too. At the end of the hallway, I saw a door with a new nameplate. Ethan J. Coleman, CEO. Seeing my name there made my chest tighten. It didn't feel real. We walked into the conference room. It had huge windows overlooking the city. 6 people sat around the table, already serious, already prepared. A man in his late 50s stood up first. Gray beard, neat tie, calm face. William. Good to see you. Grandpa nodded. James. Then Grandpa turned to the group. Everyone, this is Ethan Coleman. As of yesterday, he is your new CEO and the majority owner of the company. The room went quiet in a heavy, careful way. A woman in her 40s spoke first. She looked sharp, like she never missed anything. Patricia Morrison, she said. General Counsel. We met at the holiday party last year. I nodded like I remembered clearly. I didn't. A younger man raised his hand slightly. Frank Chen. VP of Operations. Congratulations. Then they introduced themselves one by one. Diana Walsh, CFO. She'd been with the company for 23 years. Marcus Pope, VP of Sales. Kelly Brennan, Head of Human Resources. I was trying to keep my face calm, but my mind was racing. I was still getting used to the idea that these people were talking to me like I was their boss. Then I noticed someone at the far end of the table. Mid-30s. Expensive suit. Arms crossed. Smiling like he was in control. I didn't recognize him at first, then I did. Travis. He didn't stand up. He didn't even nod at Grandpa. Travis Keller, he said. Special consultant. Your mother hired me last month. Everything stopped. I blinked. Excuse me? Patricia's face tightened. Grandpa's voice turned cold. We weren't informed, Grandpa said. Because Helen didn't have the authority to hire anyone. He looked straight at Travis. Mr. Keller, you're fired. Effective immediately. Travis smiled, but it wasn't friendly. It was thin and mean. Actually, he said, I have a 6-month consulting contract signed by Helen Coleman on behalf of family interests. Ending it requires cause and 60 days notice. I sat up straighter. I'm the CEO, I said. I'm ending it right now. Travis gave a small laugh. Cute. But Helen assured me I'd have operational authority during the transition. Before he could finish, Patricia cut him off. That contract doesn't override anything, she said firmly. Helen Coleman has no legal power here. She isn't a board member. She isn't an officer. She isn't an employee. Any agreement you signed with her is worthless. Travis's smile finally slipped. Grandpa didn't soften at all. Either she lied to you, he said, or you lied to her. Either way, you're done. Security will walk you out. For a second I thought Travis would argue. His face went red. His hands clenched. Then he stood so fast his chair scraped the floor. This isn't over, he snapped. I looked him in the eye. Yes, I said. It is. He stormed out. The door closed behind him. James Rutherford let out a slow breath. Well, that was exciting. I turned to Patricia. Who is he, really? Patricia picked up a tablet. I ran a background check when Helen mentioned hiring a consultant. She scrolled and read out loud. Travis Keller. Age 37. Claims an MBA from an online program. Past business, a supplement scheme that collapsed in 2019. Investors lost around $340,000. No criminal charges, but several civil lawsuits. And he's currently under investigation in Colorado for consumer fraud. My stomach turned. And my mom married him, I said quietly. Diana Walsh muttered, love makes people stupid. Then she winced. Sorry. That came out harsh. It's fine, I said. It's true. Grandpa clapped his hands once, loud enough to reset the room. All right. Here's the plan. Ethan is CEO. I'm stepping back into an advisory role. James will keep running daily operations while Ethan learns. Questions? James raised his hand. Is Ethan ready for this? Grandpa didn't lie. No. But I wasn't ready when I started either. He'll learn. Frank Chen spoke up. What about the Boeing contract renewal? That negotiation is next month. Boeing won't take a 20-year-old seriously. Then I'll join the negotiation, Grandpa said. Ethan watches, learns, and speaks when it makes sense. The next deal, he leads. Patricia asked, and if Helen tries to challenge the ownership transfer? Grandpa shook his head. She won't. Everyone looked at him. Grandpa gave a small, knowing smile. Let's just say I have proof of certain choices Helen made in the last 8 months, choices that would cause her serious problems if they became public. She's smart enough not to push this. I didn't ask for details. I didn't want them. The meeting continued for another 90 minutes. They walked me through reports, contracts, staffing issues, and supply problems. My head felt full and heavy by the end. When it was finally over, James pulled me aside. You really want to do this? He asked. I swallowed. I don't know, I admitted. But I'm not letting Travis Keller run my grandfather's company. James grinned. Good answer. Welcome to the team, kid. The real mess started that same afternoon. Mom called at 2:47 p.m. I let it go to voicemail. She called again at 3:15, then 3:33. The voicemail was 7 minutes long, crying, yelling, begging, blaming. She said I humiliated her, took everything from her, and ruined her life. She said she had nothing. I deleted it. At 4 p.m., Riley called. "Ethan," she said, stressed. "Mom's losing it. She keeps saying you stole her house and Grandpa manipulated you. Aunt Karen's trying to calm her down, but it's bad." "Is she safe?" I asked. "Like, physically safe?" "Yes," Riley said. "Mentally?" "I don't think so." "I don't know what to do," I admitted. "Me neither," she whispered. 3 days later, Travis filed a lawsuit. Patricia showed me the paperwork in her office: wrongful termination, breach of contract, emotional distress, asking for $850,000. "It's a weak case," Patricia said, "but it'll still cost time and money." "What do we do?" I asked. "We fight back," she said. "Fraud. Attempted corporate theft. We squeeze him with legal pressure until he backs down." "Will it work?" "Usually," Patricia said. "Men like Travis act tough until someone hits back harder." Then the lawsuit became public. Local news grabbed it. Social media spread it. People online turned it into a simple story: rich kid versus his mom's new husband. And in that story, I was the villain. The comments were brutal. People called me spoiled, heartless, entitled. Some defended me, but not many. Mom even gave an interview to a local paper. She cried on camera and said Grandpa turned me against her. She said she sacrificed everything for me and Riley, and this was how I repaid her. She didn't mention Travis's business failures. She didn't mention the lawsuits. She didn't mention that she tried to hand a huge company to a man she barely knew. Later, Grandpa found me in my office, still weird calling it my office, staring at the article. "Ignore it," he said. "People believe whatever makes the best story." I didn't look up. "They think I'm a monster." Grandpa shrugged. "In 6 months, they'll forget. In a year, you'll be the young CEO who saved the company from a con man. Stories change. You just have to outlast the noise." I swallowed. What if I can't do this? Grandpa sat across from me. "Can I tell you something?" "Always," I said. He leaned forward. "Your mother was supposed to run this company one day. I trained her. Sent her to a top school. Put her through every department. Taught her everything. What happened?" I asked. "She fell in love with your father," Grandpa said. "Had you decided she wanted to stay home?" I supported her. It was her choice." He paused. "But she regrets it now. She regrets a lot. And instead of accepting her choices, she blames everyone around her." Then Grandpa's voice turned steady and serious. "You are not responsible for her happiness, Ethan." He tapped the desk lightly. "You are responsible for this company, 400 employees, their families, their paychecks, their futures." And in that moment, I finally understood what he meant. This wasn't just a gift. It was a job. A heavy one. "That's what matters," Grandpa told me. "It's a lot of pressure. Welcome to leadership." 6 weeks later, Travis's lawsuit fell apart. Patricia did exactly what she promised. She buried him in paperwork, meetings, and legal demands until he couldn't keep up. His lawyer quit when Travis ran out of money. The case was thrown out for good. After that, Travis disappeared back to Colorado and, according to Riley, started another shady supplement business. Mom didn't disappear, though. She moved into Aunt Karen's basement, found a job at a real estate office, and stopped calling me. Riley stayed with me at the house and focused on school. One night she said, "Mom made her choices. I'm not going to feel guilty for living somewhere stable." I didn't argue. I threw myself into work. James Rutherford became my guide. He taught me how to read reports, understand profits, and handle important clients. Patricia taught me contracts, rules, and how to protect the company legally. Frank Chen walked me through the factory side, how raw materials become precision parts and why quality checks matter. Diana Walsh taught me cash flow and planning. I worked long days, came home exhausted, then did it again. 3 months in, James pulled me aside. "You're doing well," he said. "I feel like I'm drowning," I admitted. "That's normal," he replied. "But you're asking smart questions. People respect you. Give it time." 4 months in, we landed a big new deal, $47 million over 3 years. James led the meeting, but after we signed, he looked at the client and said, "This was Ethan's strategy." I wasn't sure it was fully true, but it meant a lot. 6 months in, Grandpa had a health scare. He collapsed in his guest house, and the ambulance rushed him to the hospital. I sat in the waiting room for hours, my stomach in knots. Riley showed up late that night and sat beside me. At almost 2 a.m., the doctor finally came out. "He's stable," he said. "Minor heart rhythm issue. We're keeping him overnight, but he should be fine." I almost cried from relief. Grandpa came home the next day with medication and strict instructions to reduce stress. In the car he joked, "So much for retirement." "You need to rest," I told him. "I'll rest when I'm gone," he said, then looked at me seriously. "I know you can handle this. That's why I gave it to you." A year after my birthday dinner, I called a board meeting. Everyone was there: James, Patricia, Diana, Frank, Marcus, Kelly, 2 outside directors, and Riley using her board seat for the first time. I stood at the head of the table and said, "Revenue is up. Profit is up. We signed new contracts, hired more people, and our quality scores are the best we've ever had." Diana smiled. "Congratulations. You didn't bankrupt us." People laughed, and for the first time, I laughed too. Then I added, "I want to start something new, the Coleman Foundation. We'll use 5% of yearly profits for scholarships for the children of our workers who want STEM degrees." One director raised an eyebrow. "That's a big commitment." "It's the right one," I said. The vote was unanimous. After the meeting, James clapped my shoulder. "Your grandfather would be proud." I didn't invite Mom to that meeting. But she called anyway, her first call in 6 months. "I heard about the foundation," she said quietly. "That's good. It's a good thing." There was a long, awkward silence. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry. For the interview. For Travis. For everything." I didn't know what to say, so I said the truth. "You made choices. I made choices. Now we live with them." "I want to see you," she said. "Have dinner. Talk." "I'm not ready," I replied. "When will you be ready?" "I don't know." Before we hung up, she said softly, "I'm proud of you." Then she asked to talk to Riley. Riley wasn't home, so I promised I'd tell her. That night, Riley asked me, "Are you going to forgive her?" "Maybe," I said. "I don't know." "She's trying," Riley said. "I know," I answered. "But trying doesn't erase what happened." A week later, Grandpa came to the house and sat with me in the study, the same place where everything changed a year ago. "I'm stepping down as your advisor," he said. "What? Why?" "Because you don't need me," he said. "You've been running this company. You've earned respect. You're making smart choices. It's time." "I still want your advice," I told him. "And you'll have it," he said, smiling. "As your grandfather, not as your business babysitter." 18 months after that birthday dinner, I got a real letter in the mail. Handwritten. From Mom. She wrote that she'd been in therapy for 6 months. She said she was learning her patterns and facing what she did. She admitted the truth: she tried to take what wasn't hers, trusted the wrong man, and hurt her own son. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She only said she was sorry, and she was trying to become better. I read it 3 times. Riley found me holding the letter in the kitchen. From Mom?
Yeah,
I said, and handed it to her. She read it slowly and looked up. She's trying. I know, I said. Are you going to answer? I stared at the paper and thought about 2 versions of my mother, the one who raised me with love, and the one who tried to push me out for a stranger. Both were real. Not yet, I said quietly. But someday.